Well, hello there everybody. In today's lesson we are going to look at how to change the Google fonts, or rather the fonts on the website, into any type of Google font that we want. Now the reason I'm choosing Google fonts is because they're quite flexible and widely recognized. Plus I found this plugin I really want to test called Google Font Manager. So this will be the first time I've used it. Now I have a sample site here that uses a font. I'm not sure what it is. I know the theme is Genesis and I've created this as a demo, so I'll probably change the font somewhere along the line. But the first thing to do, step one, is to identify the font that we're already using. I use a tool called WhatFont, which is a Google plugin for Chrome. I click on that and I hover. It'll say this font is Lato. So that's the text font, and typically the headings will have different fonts. For example, the heading on this one, the H1, H2, H3, are Railway. So it's Lato and Railway. So with that in mind, let's go into the back end and install this plugin and see how it works. So let's get the name of this plugin, Google Font Manager. Let's copy that and do a search for it in the plugin directory. Now that we've found it, let's install it. And let's activate it. Now, we've got to find out where it's been placed, the settings. The first place it generally puts them, most plugins, is under the settings area. And there it is. Sometimes it'll be under its own menu, but it's under settings here. Now what I'm thinking is we'll need an API key, and that's true. We do. So I'm wondering if there's any way to get around that without an API key. Because I know a lot of people, a lot of clients, a lot of friends will not want to take the trouble to have to get an API key to make this work. So it doesn't appear that I can use this plugin without an API key, but one of the reasons I wanted such a plugin was just the ability to go to Google Fonts, copy in the font, like import it, and then update it in the style sheet. So let's try the manual way now. And this way is probably faster, but you have to get a key and it's a bit complicated. The first thing I am going to do is go to Google's font site, and I'm going to choose a font. Let's choose Roboto. And let's see what we can get out of it. So let's say we want Roboto. We'll just stick with one for now, but normally a pair fonts. And let's see how we can actually apply it. This has changed since I've last used this, but let's say select this font. And here's how we embed it. This goes into the style sheet. And this, we can use this import into the style sheet as well. This might be quicker, but it's probably not the best practice. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. Let's go back to our site and install a plugin called Laziest Style Sheet. And that'll give us the ability to put an extra style sheet in without touching the style sheet of the theme. So this will work across all themes. Now let's see where it put it in the menu. Under settings, so I'm assuming it's under an area of its own. Okay, because this is a visual thing, I'm assuming it's under appearance. Yep. Latest style sheet. And there we just type in the import function. So we'll go and put this. We don't want the link, we just want the import statement. So let's go and copy this and paste this into our style sheet up the very top. This must come first. Import statement always comes first in the style sheet. And where were we? let's copy this. Well, let's copy this and I'll show you how we'll use it. Just use the following CSS rules to implement these formulas. This goes on a per rule basis. So let's save our style sheet and see if it still works. Always check on the front end to make sure nothing is broken. I am going to use Control-Shift-J to bring up my Word Developer tool and make sure I've got no errors in the console. So I think that means the style sheet is working and it's importing it. We'll soon test it. So let's go to a post here. Now this post is actually a paragraph. So what I'm going to say is for every paragraph that we have on the site, we're going to post this rule in. I'm going to hit save. And let's see if that updates it. Where are we? View post. And that seems to have updated into the font we want it. Keep in mind this will match all paragraph tags. It will not match the list item and etc. For better practices, you probably need some way of adding this into your style sheet altogether, so you change the list items and everything. So we'll go back, we'll say list item and A. We'll see what happens then. So it brings it more in line with the whole thing. It's not perfect, but it's the best we can do for now until we look at some other solutions. And if we want to revert back to normal, we can either deactivate this plugin or we can just delete this here and save it again. I don't want to delete what I put in there, so I am just going to deactivate the plugin. I'm going to go to plugins, find laziest style sheet, and I'm going to deactivate it. Close that window, it keeps coming up because I keep clicking on it. So if we refresh this after deactivating it, it goes back to normal. Thanks for watching, and if you want more tips, be sure to check out the link below, which shows you where you can get some free weekly tips to your email address. They're just small chunks of consumable content, all good. So thanks again, and see you later.